The things I can and the wisdom to know the difference.
Come on.
Did I ever tell you guys that story? Like when it clicked for me the first time? Yeah, I know. I know, dude. I know we have no sound. We're on? We're live? So we apologize about the technical difficulties. Like we've said in the past, we're getting there all figured out as we go. And my man Tad will get us started here.
Hey, everybody. Once again, we're sorry about the technical difficulties. Thanks for sticking around. Welcome to the Attitude for Gratitude podcast. You know, it's Tad here, and I'm chilling with my best friend,
Timmy W.
If you ever have any ideas for the show, guests, questions, or you're ever struggling or anything, really, just feel free to reach out to me or Tim. Tad Ackerman on Facebook.
Timothy J. W. on Facebook as well.
All right, so moving along. Tim, you want to cut that promo?
Yes, I do. Here at 2218, they were gracious enough to let us run this podcast out of here, and they have tons and tons of meetings, what have you. So, with that said, if you would like to donate or give to 2218, there are links left and right you can click on, and just go ahead and feel free to donate. And with that said, I'm going to throw it back at Tad like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, Tad.
And boom, I'm right back on the mic just like that.
Hey, we're professional.
Anyways, today we have a very special show. As always, we have great guests. We have Zach and Derek. You guys want to say what's up? Say what's up,
Introduce
Zach.
yourselves.
Hey, that's Zach with an H, Eric. Zach C. Thanks for having me here.
Love you, Zach.
My name's Derek, and I'm an addict. I just want to say, like I've listened to the podcast before, right? And Tad, you have a voice. I know this isn't radio, but you have a voice for radio. And Tim, you do have the face for it. So.
That was a joke you've been wanting to tell. Derek almost fell off his chair 3 times trying to tell that joke. All right, let's keep this intro going, Tad. You know what? I'll kind of bang it out. So you know what, guys? Let's just go ahead and feel free to share it with everyone and anyone you know. And you know what? We need to smash that like button.
Smash that like button, share. I want to give a special shout out to my friend Leon. He was going to be trolling on the podcast, talking some trap, but, the 12-step work does come first, so he's out doing something.
That's good.
Bless his heart. As for him and being the champion of recovery in that belt, we'll see about that.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
I don't see
soon.
it happen. You can dress yourself up how you want, but, the real
fired.
world comes knocking down on you pretty quick, so...
Just sit in the garage all day. It doesn't make you a car.
Right.
Whoa, Zach with knowledge in the first
I think Zach has become my manager at this point.
Yeah, he's a Mean Gene. Or no, who's
Right.
that? Mr. Fuji or whatever it is.
So, hey, without further ado, you know what? Let's just get right into it. Let's chop it up.
Chop it up, baby.
Chop it up.
Chop it up.
Zach, I know you got lots of knowledge and lots of subjects.
My wife just spelled my name wrong on there.
You
That?
mean
Oh my God! Let's
Right
talk
on-
about that.
so right underneath where your name's spelled? Or no, I guess that would be her name.
That's
so.
your wife?
Yeah, Amanda, thanks for checking in. You know what, everyone? You guys, thank you so much for being patient. Everyone has checked in. JP, Hope Dealers,
Oh,
James,
she's
Aaron.
trolling you.
Tons of people. Nathaniel, Daniel, Ryan, all you guys that are checking in. We love you, and this show works like that. Becky, everyone, we'll get to you.
You know what?
I want to real quick give a congratulations to our buddy Derek on the show tonight, because we will be getting into this in depth. But today he celebrates 3 years of continuous recovery.
Hey, by the way, I'm Tad, and I'm in recovery.
Hey, Tad.
You know what? I'm not super tight with Derek, but I've had quite a few conversations with you. I want you to know that 3 years is huge, and thank you for giving us permission, whether you knew about it or not, to do this live on air. And right here in my hand, if you don't know, I got a 3-month medallion.
3 year.
3 year.
3 year.
Crap.
We're
Trying
ball
to
dropping.
shortchange
I've been shortchanging them all night.
It's all good.
But dude, 3 years is great. And you want to tell all the listeners how you did it? Because this is huge. For
Real
you.
quick, though, you know what? So our audience here, how this go. I'm going to present them with that real quick.
I just did.
I know I'm going to go into a little more detail
Okay,
on
go
that
ahead.
And
presentation.
then I'm going to go into
Because we got, you know what? Here's what we got going on here is Tad, myself, and then we've got Derek and his sponsor. Derek's sponsor, Zach, is here.
Yes, sir.
So I'll make this short and sweet, but I just need to let our audience know, and you, Derek, is that this guy here is, in my mind, when you hear the pillar of recovery or doing the deal or...
He's a real deal, dude. He's a cool dude, too.
Yeah, when it comes to service work, he's there. When it comes to an ear to listen, he's there. he has been there through you know how we do this, where we always end up making it about ourselves when we give a coin out or give out a tag or what have you. But you know what,
yourself.
Derek, you've been there since day one in my recovery. You know, you're about 21 days ahead of me. Whatever. But throughout my whole journey, you've been there. You've been in the rooms in early recovery, from IOP to everywhere that my journey's been. You were there, and you are and you're younger than me by maybe a dime or so. I think 10, 11 years. You're quite a bit younger than me.
29.
Whatever, and I'm 29 as well. But basically, what I'm getting at is I look up to Derek. I do. I look up to you. I've always said this too. Every time you get a clean time when you get an anniversary, but I would love to mirror my recovery after yours and your spiritual beliefs, your actions that you take in recovery. I look up to you. I love you. I'm proud to call you a brother and proud to call you a friend. I love you, Derek. You've been there for me no matter what. And I'm sorry for half of the times you've been there for me. I love you, Derek. Congratulations.
I love you too, Tim. Thank you.
Ooh, I'm Zach. I'm in recovery.
What's up, Zach?
Who are you?
My name's Derek, and I'm still an addict.
I get stuck reading all the comments on the screen. So,
Yeah, I
but
can't
I
even
like
look.
it. I
Yeah,
like it.
that-
Go ahead and read. Go ahead and read some of them out
Yeah,
loud
if you
for
want.
Derek, so he can.
Congratulations, Zach. Zach, I love you. Zach, you're such a good guy. I wonder, wow, it just doesn't stop, does it?
Zach, you're so handsome.
What was that
You're
guy's
so
name?
handsome, right?
Who was the guy that wrote that? Oh my God. It's going to go both ways. So,
Right.
just like you. No, I'm
And
joking.
this is my sponsor. This is my sponsor,
yes.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It's people wonder why, and they look at my back, and they wonder why my back's so strong, and I always tell them I've been carrying Derek for 3 years.
Oh my God.
Come on.
So you
Come
got-
on.
Come on, let's go.
Share that.
Sometimes,
Share
you know, you make good decisions in your life, and you start doing things that are good for yourself and others, and then people want to involve you in their recovery, and that's just kind of how it works. And like when someone asks you, you know, to stick with them or be by their side, like that's what happened, and that's how this has been working. And Derek's just been a super positive influence for me and a lot of people, and it's like a ball of sunshine, you know. And there's things you do with ease that I do better now from watching you do them, from being together as friends, you know what I mean? And that's how it works, right? It's just how it works. And I don't need to go into a whole, I'm really grateful for you, you know, and we've started to connect a little better again, and it means a lot to me, you know, and it means a lot that you involve me in this process, and I love the shit out of you. I
love
do,
you too.
so congratulations on your 3 months.
3 months.
It's
Thank
3
you.
years. It's 3 years.
Please, Derek, tell us how you did it. How you achieved this.
My name is Derek, and I'm still in recovery.
Hey, Derek.
Man, my heart is just filled with gratitude today. Thank you, everybody, for your congratulating me. You know, it's only through God's grace and mercy that I'm here today. You know, and like I shared at another meeting, like you guys taught me how to do this. You know what I mean? Like the people that came before me, right? Like, and everybody in the rooms have taught me how to live, you know? Like I didn't know how to live before I got here, you know what I'm saying? And like I clung on to some people that I seen were doing the deal because I wanted it, you know? I had the gift of desperation, right? Talking like coming from such a hopeless lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Like all I wanted to do was stop using, right? I didn't know that in that process, I was going to find a new way to live, right? When I got here, I didn't know if I was going to stay or if I was going to go, because in the past, I've left every time before the miracle happened. You know what I'm saying? I never gave this shit a chance. Like I never allowed anybody to help me. You know what I'm saying? But it got to the point where I needed to surrender, right? I needed to get out of that denial and smash those reservations that I had about going back. Like that shit was no good for me. That shit's no good for nobody. And it's like, I needed to find a new way to live, and I seen some people that were doing it, right? And like, I found myself in a program, and in the program, we follow suggestions, right? And one of those things was like get a sponsor. So like I found somebody, like when the first time I seen Zach, he was at a meeting and he was like, "Hey, nice shirt, man." And I was like, "Fuck you, dude." You know, like, like I'm being straight up. Like, yeah, he doesn't care about my shirt, but like I kept coming back because he told me to. He's like, "Keep coming back," so I did. And like next thing you know, eventually I asked the man to be my sponsor, and he's walking me through the steps, right? And like I'm getting a better understanding of the spiritual principles embedded in the step, right? And like through living the steps and the principles, I'm finding this new way to live, and I'm becoming a better person. And obviously it's working because like the stuff that you just shared with me, my heart is filled today. I'm filled with gratitude, and I'm okay with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm truly blessed to be here, and like I couldn't have done it without everybody out there, you know, all the people here in this room today, and like even the fallen addicts, you know what I mean? Like we got to take a moment of silence for them.
Right.
Because like I stay in the room, right? The rooms, because like I get to witness that stuff, and I'm like, I'm not grateful for that, right? I'm not grateful to see somebody perish to this disease, but like it keeps me here. This shit's real. You know?
Share that.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Derek. Everybody. Derek. Baby D. Woo. Let's get into this podcast. Congratulations again. We are proud of you and
Before we get any further in the podcast, I just want to once again give a shout out to all our listeners. This is an interactive show, so please keep the questions going. And I want to say thank you to Eric, as always. And tonight we got
Sydney
in the house on the keyboard.
Sydney on the keyboard.
Hey, I'm here. Matt's here too.
And we also got Mr. Matt.
We've got Matt S in the house, soon
You
to be
need to make him
dad.
get on the mic, Brett, if he wants to.
Yeah, Matt, come on over here and say hi to
announced that
everyone.
last week. Big congratulations. We announced it last week.
He's being shy today.
Father to be. We got a room full of people. We'll hear some good gratitude tonight. We're going to hear lots of gratitude tonight.
Our sponsors here, as always, a really good friend of mine, Becky. Aaron's here. He's piping up on the keyboards too, and Jerome, another good friend of mine,
Soon to
is
be
here.
guest in I think 2
And
weeks or
I don't know the other young lady's
next
name.
week.
Samantha.
Yes, it's just recovery. It's what we
Okay,
do.
cool beans. And that is what we do. I want to ask you something, and then I'm going to have your sponsor tag in right after you answer. I'm going to have Zach tag in too. So for anyone who just heard that and got to see the joy, the gratitude, and all that, you want to speak to the newcomers who just can't get a day, 30 seconds,
Right.
and just let them know what's up. Because there are people who are like 3 years. That's crazy. They're all having fun. I can't get 30 minutes.
Right, in some people's eyes, 3 years is just not even true. It's not believable.
And we've all been there at some point, like you kind of talked about.
Right. No, it's, man, I can only speak from hard won experience, right? Like my own true experience, and like it wasn't until I started taking some suggestions, right, and like actually putting in some work into this program, or like whatever, like I don't care what program you choose, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't do it alone. That's all there is to it. You know what I mean? My will was not sufficient to stay clean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So if it takes treatment, if it takes detox, like if it takes a meeting every single day, like I had to connect with some people, you know what I mean? And like that's all it is. I mean, for me, like it's other people, you know what I mean? And God, like I didn't always have a God in my life, but I do today.
A higher power.
A higher power, yeah. And I choose to call it God, you know?
Perfect,
And,
yeah.
But like, it's difficult to get clean, right? And or it was for me, like difficult to get clean, and it was difficult for me to stay clean.
Yeah.
Right? Man, you know, I didn't get it on the first shot.
Not to go down that alley, but do you see it harder to get clean than it is to stay clean? Or what was it? Was it trickier trying to get clean versus staying clean? The journey of recovery, is that easier than trying to get clean?
Man, like getting clean. I mean, like I knew how to get clean, right? Because like when I was 15 years old, I was introduced to treatment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I always knew that was an option. A lot of people don't even know that's an option.
Right. I didn't find out about this till I was like 19 or 20 because every time they told me I needed to go to treatment, my probation did, I'd run away and avoid treatment.
Right.
And some people get clean without going to treatment.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's, man, if I can like give any suggestion to a newcomer, it's like find a meeting. I don't care what the meeting is, and like go to that meeting and open up and share.
Right.
You know, that's difficult. It's easy to say, but like that's some difficult shit when you're in some pain, you know? But like you're gonna find some people that have experienced that same pain and will be able to relate with you and be able to give you some suggestions.
It's doing all that hard stuff, because it is hard. You got to work on your demons a little bit. And what do you think? Payout's worth it?
Absolutely.
But you know, some people, when they're in the horrors of addiction, they can't even think that far ahead. You know what I mean? Like when they're stuck in the horrors of addiction, you can't see, is there a better, is it really going to be better? Like,
so here's the thing, like, I share that, right? And like I'm sitting over here wondering what Sponsor's thinking, you know what I mean? Like I want to hear what Zach has to say.
Yeah, what do you have to think, Zach?
Well, first, I talk so much all the time that it's nice to listen sometimes too. You know,
I didn't know it was capable of it, so this is great.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
He's really
anything,
reserved.
but I was listening, right? So, and one of the things with first of all, like newcomer, when I came in on criminal charges and it was like that or go to prison, and then the treatment center was like, we're going to drop you off at this meeting on a Wednesday night. If you don't go, you can go back inside, you know? So I went. And then there were girls there, so I stayed. I started coming back, right? And you don't have to know, I didn't know anyone who'd got clean. I didn't know anyone who'd stayed clean. My whole life, all my friends turned on me. I turned on all my friends, all of that, right? So, I mean, seeing both feet in, right? You got to dive in and like it's all or nothing.
Right.
It's you get in what you put in, yeah, but it is all or nothing, because the one reservation takes you out and you're on a run again. It doesn't matter why you're here at first. Like when we go do H&I and talking treatment centers and stuff, like I've never...
H&I is what?
Hospitals and institutions, yep.
Okay.
I've never once went in there and talked about step work or traditions or concepts. Like you said, that's, you know, the horizon that grows and changes.
I like that.
You're in the dark. When you come in, you're in the dark. You know what I mean? Years and years later, like my horizon looks a lot different. Everything I had in my life right now that is great and precious, I didn't plan on. I couldn't even see.
Right.
I couldn't see an outline of it. Like I remember sitting in treatment when I went. It's, what do you want to be? And I would say happy.
Oh,
you know,
shit.
and that was it. You know, and that's all I knew. Like I've been so angry and I've been so sad, and like I just almost died. I got beaten to death, literally, and revived. And I didn't want to die. Right. And I found that out by being brought back to life. It wasn't like, you know what, this isn't working for me. You know, it was like, I'm going to hit you in the head with a pistol 14 times, and then I make my decision, you know?
So it took for you to be like, I don't want to die.
I had a similar experience too, because
Yeah.
my whole before, every time I was coming back into the rooms for whatever, you know, getting on the mend, the family had heard I'm scared to die, and then I died twice.
Yeah, right.
And then I really was scared to die after being suicidal.
Right.
And you know, JJ, we got questions. We got like 3 already.
That's all right. Well,
JJ wants to know, what is one of the most important factors that made you come into recovery? Zach, you want to tackle this one first?
Life.
life.
To live, yeah. And that's what I was just saying, like not to backtrack, but it's a parallel to that is Like, I just don't want to live like that. I just don't want to die like that. I want to live, but I don't even know what that looks like. Fortunately, I got dropped off at a fellowship, and I like what Derek said about fellowships. Like, there's plenty of them out here. There's plenty of meetings for all these fellowships. If you don't like one, you got to try another.
Yeah.
If you don't like that one, there's another.
Right.
If you're not comfortable being outside right now, there's 1,000 Zoom meetings
Right.
across the world.
And like you said, whatever it takes for you to get to that next step. No one's gonna hate on it. It's like, go do it.
I had this thing that when you were talking, it just came up in my head. And, we always say put 25% or put what you put into recovery.
As what you put into your use.
Yeah. And like for me, it just seems the people, and you guys can correct me if you're wrong, but it seems like all the guys I know that are doing the thing, once you start putting the same energy and the same attitude that you had in your addiction and flip it, that's when the lights start switching, and that's when you stay and the miracle starts happening. And it's not always a one-time deal. And I have to do that. Like, I'll have to do it again this week at some time. I'm going to be like, I don't want to do this sometimes, and sometimes it's cool. That's life.
Right.
Here's the only thing I'll disagree with that, though, because me and my wife talked about
welcome
this,
it.
but yes, put the same, like you chase your recovery like you chased your high, right? But we're not getting high anymore,
Nope.
so don't drive to Anoka in a blizzard to go to a meeting.
Detail. Yeah. No.
And
No.
risk
You're
your
right.
fucking life.
No,
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
right.
You know what I'm saying? But
We'll touch on this and go deeper. But yeah.
Yeah.
But also, you can't, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
up
no,
to you.
yeah.
It's just now that we're not getting high, we're making decisions. And sometimes we got to make decisions that are in our best
Responsible
interests.
Yes.
And, like,
True that.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, what Tad, the audience couldn't see it. Tad looked at me because you know what? Tad and myself, we've done that. But listen, here's
So have I.
We're driven in a blizzard to get to a meeting.
But listen,
me
it
too,
wasn't a
right.
deal like what Zach's talking about, and I think I can honestly speak.
You got to
for him,
make
is-
adult decisions now.
Exactly. No, we're not saying nope, mom, or nope, brother, or nope, whoever. I've got to get to this meeting. I don't care that there's 4 feet of snow and cars are sliding off the road. I'm going. Da, da, da. Now, we're going. We knew we gave ourselves 2 hours of time to get there. It wasn't we got to rush to this meeting. It was a conscious, healthy decision we make. What he's saying is, I know what you're saying, and I've heard some people talk about it that way. But yeah, and I say semantics, like, oh, that's the little details. You're absolutely right, though. Don't be irresponsible about using that as a crutch to be going out to some meeting. Don't cause yourself harm to get to a meeting like we would to go get our fix.
I was absolutely what? I must have missed that part.
Absolutely right. Oh,
Oh
shucks.
my God. He didn't even get it.
Ego.
Derek,
What's going
one of
on?
the most important factors that got you into recovery?
One of the most important factors that got me into recovery. Man, it was like, I've been trying to get clean. I don't even know if I was trying to get clean before. You know what I mean? It was always circumstances that put me in a position
I absolutely know what you mean.
in which I wouldn't even say forced, but it was the softer, easier way, right?
Yeah.
You mean then like a 5x9?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm gonna try to skip this going to jail, so that I could continue to get high. I'll go and I'll jump through their hoops for a little bit, and then I'll go on the run. You know what I mean? Or go on a run, right? And like,
Or both.
right, and like I'm the addict, and I know everybody, and there's a lot of other addicts out there that can relate to this. I'm the addict who would show up at the PO's office, piss dirty in the cup, and then be like, I wasn't getting high, like you got me
Oh,
fucked
man.
up,
Right,
like
right.
And like. Finally, I think this last go around, like I finally hit a bottom. Hitting that bottom, man. That was one of the factors, you know what I mean? And like, I thought I had hit my bottom before, but there was a fucking shovel down there, right? And like I
Ice
kept
pick,
digging,
it's a
right?
dynamite. You got deep.
But like this time around, it was like I had done every scam possible. You know, I was like doing check forgery and like ripping people off and doing whatever scam possible. You know, having people peel stuff and go return it. Like, and I was just
addiction.
doing all that, right? And like I still had a vehicle, and like I lost the vehicle, fell asleep behind the wheel, and total. I don't know if my vehicle was total, but it was not drivable. You know what I'm saying?
That's totaled, bro. That's total.
It still moved a little bit, but it didn't go very fast.
So basically, kind of like Zach was saying, you know, whatever gets us in the rooms, like he said, pretty girls. And I've been to meetings lately where I've heard people talk about like these girls are like, these guys was coming in with some gaiters on and they had nice caddies.
Right.
But the point of what they're getting at is whatever it takes for you to get in these rooms, and even just to keep coming back, like I want to see that pretty girl next week, because eventually
you hear that message.
that message,
sticks.
that miracle does start
Message
kicking in.
of hope, baby.
Right.
You meet human beings that are in a direction you're trying to head, and really like what Derek said and how I got my sponsor and how I even started looking at my sponsor. The guy I asked was, he walked up to me and like I joke about being the greeter because I can hug the pretty girls. And when I look back at it, right, I was so starved for human attention. Right, and human affection. And my sponsor walked up. I've said this story 1,000 times.
I've never heard it.
But he walks by and he goes, and he gave me a hug. He walked by and he came back and he goes, "Man, you got a really great smile. You should smile more." And then he walked away, dude, and it broke me. You know what I'm saying? It broke something in me that had been so
And just
hard
as
for
simple.
so long, right? Excuse me. It collapsed a little bit, you know, and it's one of the things that, like, I carry to this day is just really small act of kindness. Like, if you can do something to even make someone smile, you know, I probably didn't even like Derek's shirt.
He didn't, man. It was grimy as hell.
It was
I
a
know
stupid shirt, you know what I'm saying? But he looked good in it. Imagine this guy not looking good.
Yeah,
in a
Derek
shirt you
shines.
put on him,
Derek
you know?
shines.
Derek's one of the guys.
Yeah, we got tons of questions.
Ronald
Well
says,
said, Tad.
This is my sponsor.
okay. Ronald, Tim's sponsor, congratulations to the birthday boys. We're either growing spiritually or heading back to our old ideas. Spiritually fit on the beam. What does that mean to you guys? You want to go first, Derek? Okay, go ahead. Go first, Derek.
Dang, man, they hit me with some wisdom questions there.
Yeah.
The kind of sponsors I carry, dude.
Spiritually fit
We're on the beam.
or on the beam. What does that mean? It rhymes too, man. That's some powerful
That's how Ron
stuff.
does.
Like spiritually fit, you know? Am I connected with a God of my understanding? That's what I'm thinking about. And like, am I nourishing that relationship with that God, right? Or am I just saying I have a God just because it's suggested of me, right?
Right.
I for me, I know what I believe in, right? Like, to everybody else out there that doesn't know, I'm a follower of Christ. Right. You know what I mean? And like, it's been like that for me pretty much my whole recovery. You know, I questioned my faith for a little bit, and I might have been on the beam then too, you know, but somebody broke it down for me, and they were like, and it's like the program, right? Like, you don't question something that's working for you. You know, you just continue to have faith, right? Like, it's working for you, so why question it?
Why try to fix something that's not broke?
Right. You know, and like continuing to nourish that relationship, or like pour into that relationship, because I know that my God pours everything into me, you know, and like gives me the strength that I need, the courage that I need to wake up in the morning and face my day, right? And like continue, because just because I got 3 years clean today doesn't mean that something's gonna smack me in the face tomorrow. Right. Like, I don't know what's around the corner, but as long as I got some people in my corner and a God, like I know I can walk through some fear of the unknown with some faith today. You know what I'm saying? And like, I feel like today, because of the program, right? Like, God brought me to the program, and the program brought me closer to God, right?
Wow.
And like, that's that's where I'm at. You know, like I may not be able to preach from the gospel, but like I know where I stand with my faith, and I know that my God believes in me as much as I believe in him.
Well put. Nice answer. All right. Well, Zach, let's bring that over to you. Real quick, I'll read it again. We're either growing spiritually or heading back to our old ideals. Spiritually fit or on the beam? What does this mean to you? Later, brother.
Every night I pray for God's will, and I don't know what God's will is. But every night I know whether I've gotten closer to or farther from what I believe God's will to be, right? Every night when I look in the mirror now in recovery and awareness, right, is that I'm the one who has the answer to me now. Like
Right.
all along, the whole ride, my whole life, right? We thought that I thought I was pulling one over on everyone. I thought I was the only one that I was hurting. Right, and it's not true. We're so entangled in each other. Right, that's a sidetrack.
No, but you're going down the right road there. I hear what you're saying.
Spiritually awake. Like one of the things about the balance. That's one of my big things. Right, is we have a lot of things that we need to balance in recovery in our daily lives, and it just so happens that we're kind of a special lot, you know, with the high highs and the low lows. Like even keel and level headed is like always spiritually fit. That's what that means. That means even when shit's not okay, I'm doing okay. Right? I'm in a health situation right now, right?
Yeah.
That you know, it's not real okay.
No.
You know, I got another big thing coming up, another big thing on the horizon, and I'm spiritually prepared for it. I'm spiritually awake for it, because you can't have a spiritual awakening if you don't have an awake spirit. You know, that means like when you stop being on the ledge of like, I'm going to get high, and I just think about getting high every 30 seconds for a month or something, you know, and then all of a sudden, like, you're like, oh my God, I'm outside and I can see the sunset, and you haven't seen that in 20 years, you know?
And you can appreciate it.
And you're a part of the world once again, right? And I don't know, one of the things I wrote down was balance.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Yep. Yeah, keep going. Don't stop.
Don't stop, get it?
Yeah, don't stop. We want no dead time, man. Keep going.
I'm sorry. One of the things I wrote down is balance and all the things I got to do. You know, one of the things I like to talk about is adding stuff and taking them away when things get weird in life, and life just changes and circumstances change and times change. And sometimes I need to add things, and sometimes I need to take things away. And then there's a lot of things that just continue to work, like Derek just said, you know. And that's like for me, I start the morning with a couple glasses of water. That's something I do, and it just like rejuvenates me.
Right.
You know, I get up, I use the bathroom, I drink a couple glasses of water. I go to work, I eat something in the morning. That's my favorite thing to talk about is the little things in balance, right? If I don't eat a little something for breakfast, you know,
It's just like your new, is it since recovery, it's like a routine that you've gotten into?
Absolutely, yeah. And
Okay.
I figured out like you fine tune yourself and how you feel. If I don't eat breakfast, I start being a dickhead about 2 or 3 hours later. If I do eat breakfast, I don't. So I should eat breakfast. You know what I mean?
Please do.
It is like
I'm sure the wife appreciates when you eat breakfast.
But I can make a bowl of cereal complicated because I'm at it.
Right,
You know what I
of
mean?
course.
And
I
everything
fully
is like,
hear you.
yeah, you know, I went to get the Captain Crunch and I took a left and then I hit a U-turn and now I'm like in the basement crying, you know?
This is some
And I didn't
addict
call
shit
it
right,
right,
there.
you know what I mean? And then I'm mad or angry and then everything turns into something else. So there's yeah.
That's total addict shit right there.
Yeah.
You got something?
Yeah, I want to talk about the eating and drinking water and stuff that normal people just know how to do, and we have to learn.
Right. No, it's a valid. It's so valid.
It's totally
It's
true.
about fine-tuning the chemicals in our body,
Right.
instead of just dumping a ton of crazy chemicals that we're not supposed to even dump in the first place.
Yes, sir.
To try to fix everything. We just learn how to live.
Right.
Can I hit him with a quick story?
And then I got to hit one about this guy too after that. Go ahead.
18 months clean, right? And I'm pull up Facebook. I'm like 3 days in a row I'd had breakfast, and I'm like, I got it, man. You know, right? This is a twofold story. I'm typing it. I pull up Facebook and I'm looking, and it's like 2 of my friends hit the honor roll, the dean's list in college, you know? And I'm like, shit, man, I'm about to tell these guys that I learned how to eat breakfast. You know, I'm 34 years old, right?
Holy shit.
Here's the thing. Here's the twofold. Here's the most important part of the story. I didn't post that. I compared myself to where those guys were at, and I didn't post my accomplishment that has turned out to be an integral part of every single day of my life now, right?
Wow.
I shorted myself,
Yeah.
you know, because someone else might have been like, good idea. You know, I learned to drink water on a good idea because some dude, when I was 60 days in, was so passionate about drinking water, I went back to the sober house that night, and I was passionate about it. Like, you know, dude was coughing, and I was like, you probably wouldn't have that cough if you're drinking H2O, and it's my second glass of water in 17 years, you know what I'm saying? So, right, but I should have posted it. I should have let my accomplishment fly because that's where I was at. And where I came from, that was a pretty big place to be at.
You get to own that.
You're right, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's like, this has got to come out right now, or I'm gonna.
I didn't know how to do simple little
No,
things
and
like that.
you know what? We get to
Still don't.
see transformations in recovery with people's health and stuff. And just a quick one is Derek, the one who's celebrating 3 years today. I've watched, you know, from day one, he was 150 pounds? He came in scrawny and looking like the scarecrow and
10 pounds
unhealthy
ago.
and little. But I'm going to tell you something. He worked his ass off. The kid hits the gym. He's about 210, 220, putting up like 500. Like the kid hits the gym. He eats right. He the proteins and this and that. Like he does what, like for someone like me, I mean, I gained 100 pounds in the first month of inpatient. But that's just, you know what? That was from 20 years of not eat. Like
Tim's talking about growth right now.
I'm
is
talking-
what he's talking about.
I'm talking about healthy growth for Derek. Like this man, he's doing what you're talking about in a way. Sid. Like, I'm giving him the finger across the table. But what I'm saying is, yeah, you get healthy. There's as easy as a cup of water, as easy as transforming your body into this like. You know, some not Baby D anymore. You know, he's a musclehead, like, but healthy. You know, and that's part of your recovery. Our sponsor, Robbie, talks about it. Like, he goes to the gym. That's part of his recovery. That gives him some sanity. We brought up last week with Paul. Like, we talked about someone had a question like, what are some key things you do for your recovery? And physical health was one of them, and eating was another. Like, couple cups
share,
of water.
I want to share something here, right? So like the disease can manifest itself in other aspects of our lives, right? And I'm the type of addict who can take something that's perfectly healthy for me and turn it into a problem, right? So I got like a year clean. And I'm like really making some accomplishments and moving forward with my life. And I get my own apartment. And I'm about to do some grown-up stuff, right? I'm gonna go out and get some groceries because I'm living on my own now. So I gotta make sure my groceries are there, right?
At what age? Like,
Yeah,
no, I mean,
I
think
what
this
was
is
that?
valid.
What was
Today.
that? 27, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I go out to Aldi's and I get a gang of groceries, right? Because I love that place. Like, I'll plug them. I don't care.
They're not our sponsor yet. Do not plug them. No, I'm joking.
And I go out and I get stuff. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get some stuff for tacos, right?
Oh boy.
And you guys know this story.
Tell it,
Tad
though.
hasn't heard
Tad
this.
needs
but
to hear
I
it,
don't
too.
know if a lot of the audience haven't, but I'm gonna
Let's
tell.
keep her going.
So I go out and I get stuff for tacos, and I like to eat, ladies and gentlemen, and like I get the 5-pound pack of beef, right? Ground beef, and I go back to the house and I take the biggest pan I got and I start cooking that taco beef or that beef and making it into taco meat, right? And I got the shit. I was like corn tortillas, you know, and
Heads of
cheese,
lettuce.
sour cream, lettuce. Like I got the works, right? And I cooked it up, and I had one taco, then I had 2 tacos, then I had 3 tacos, and you guys know where this is going. 1 is too many, and 1,000's never enough, right? and like next thing I know, I'm dumping the beef in the bowl. I'm just got lettuce on it, and I'm shoveling this in my mouth, right? And next thing I know, I ate all 5 pounds of the taco meat, man. And
I want to hear the whole thing.
I'm giving you the whole thing. I'm giving you the whole, and I'm like, now I'm going to do the dishes because I'm an adult and I got my own place and I want my place looking clean. So I'm going to do the dishes, and I finish the dishes and I fall to the floor in some of the worst pain I've ever been in my life. And I'm sweating and rolling around, crawling to the toilet, right? And like I didn't know what end it was going to come up.
He ate 5 pounds of taco meat.
You got the meat sweat, son.
And next thing, like I'm in some pain, man. I ate 5 pounds of ground beef, and I was in
And all the side, the
oh
fixings.
my gosh, I was in so much pain. And finally, after 2 hours of being in pain, I get in my vehicle and I drive myself to the hospital. And here's the kicker, guys. Are you ready? Like, here's the disease, right? I go up and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh my God.
Right.
I'm lying because my pride. I don't want my pride and my little ego to get hurt, right? So I lie to him and I say, I don't know what's wrong, right? And I got this pain in my side. Okay, we'll get you in. And I'm sitting in the waiting room in pain. I'm telling you, like, and I go. They take me back and they're like, "You might have kidney stones." And I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds about right." So they take me and they run the tests and like they come back and they did the scan on me and stuff, and they're like, "Well, we got some good news and some bad news." And I'm like, "All right, lay it on me." And they're like, "Good news is you don't have kidney stones. Bad news is we don't know what's wrong with you."
Did you cop up finally?
I never admitted it.
Loose lips, sick shit.
I said,
my gosh.
they gave me some medicine. I didn't even go get the prescription. They gave me something to ease the pain, or like something to lose. I don't even know what it was. I didn't even go fill the prescription. I just went home in pain.
You mean to tell me you found something you like cooking and you overdid it?
Oh
So
yeah.
basically, a recap is, so you're trying to be in your addiction, you know what, like you said, 1's too many and 1,000's never enough. You're trying to do right, but your addiction got the better of you, basically.
Well, you tried to eat 1,000 tacos in one
It
sitting.
was bad.
Well, we got another real great question
So,
here.
James, hey, what up? Shout out. That's one of my guys.
Yeah, Cheryl, thanks for checking in.
Yeah, before we answer Jane's question, I just want to say hey to everybody here. And, Jane, let's promote the Gratitude Cafe real quick.
Jane's got the best, and
Greatest food ever.
Greatest food. It's $5. Come on, she posted on the 2218's Facebook page, but $5, and you're eating almost as much
man,
as Derek
the
just
spread is
described.
great.
Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are getting full for $5.
And desserts.
Desserts.
Oh.
You're getting Jello. You're
coffee.
getting a 3-4 course meal. You're getting a bottle of water.
best
coffee.
deal for $5.
Yeah, you're getting full. Even you, Derek.
Mondays
you
and-
will get full. That's a Gratitude Cafe, and Jane
Mondays
is the
and
best.
Wednesdays. I just want to give some T's and P's. That's thoughts and prayers to Jane. She
Yes.
she had a little medical issue and was in the hospital last Monday, and she's back with us. She was back here
Good,
tonight.
good.
We love you, Jane, and we hope everything goes good.
Wow, a lot of people are checking in. Andrea, Matt, James, everyone. Wowzers.
Can I
Thanks,
answer
Jane.
that first question real quick? Because we just
Which one?
Serenity?
about newcomers, man.
Oh,
and
yes.
it's really been weighing on my mind.
Yes,
That,
get to it.
Because, and Sydney said something too, and Darren, we've all kind of been walking around the circle of it. But you're new here, or even if you've been around for a while and things aren't going well, but you're new here and you got financial problems, you got legal problems, you got health problems, and it's all really overwhelming. So can you maybe focus just today on 4 or 5 glasses of water,
Right.
I hear ya, yeah.
like a couple square meals, take a shower today, maybe clean up the area you live in. When these things start triggering, have you washed your windows? There's some things we can do for 3 to 4 minutes that can take us away from
Make your
fucking up
bed.
for
That
another
is right.
3 to 4 years. Can you go outside and take a walk and get some exercise? Can you reach out to someone? These meetings and stuff isn't as accessible, and times are weird. A lot of people don't want to come out. You got a phone? Can you FaceTime? Can you Skype? Like, I just wanted to say that it's so overwhelming, and what helped me the most is something that I could grasp in a time where the whole world was falling down on my head, you know? That's
Just a little axe. And you know what? And I didn't mean to giggle about the water, but I didn't know you're such a water like philanthropist or whatever. This whole water thing.
I stole it from my buddy Mike. That's why I literally went to this deal, that was a true story. I walked back to the sober house because I didn't have a car.
You were the water man after that.
Traded my bus tokens for a Twinkie at the treatment center because I was
You can't make
again,
this up.
right?
No.
And I went and told the guys like I was the one sharing about the water, you know, like
it was your own original thing. Yeah,
right.
No, we've all done it.
That's what we do.
But what's your water? That's the whole point of this.
Right.
Is what's your water? What are you going to add? You know,
Confucius over here. I love this dude.
James, we're going to get to your question. Don't worry. Do you mind if I ask you something, Zach?
He's gonna ask it. So
6'2" Pisces.
Okay. Your wife gave you a special shout out in here, just so you know. She said, she thinks that it's great you're having a good time and that people get to laugh at your jokes because you don't get that at home. So.
Yeah, she's cold.
Oh, he's ball
she's a
buster.
cold piece.
Oh, is that a real?
Yeah, that's
I thought that was Ted being.
No, I added a little bit to it to help her out.
Oh, Amanda's great. She's good.
But I added a little flavor on the steak, but she served up some steak for him. So
Amanda's about her business, and I'm a wild spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you connect with someone like that, and I've been able to get a lot of my adult responsibilities, my ducks in a row, and I think she's been able to let her hair down a little bit. Like, we complement each other, and that's
a
He's got a
brilliant,
beautiful little daughter.
That's a good relationship.
You know what? Him and his wife taught me about sushi. Like, they taught me, and Derek, I didn't.
Is sushi your thing now?
But I didn't know what a damn crunchy or a California roll or all this shit. I thought, give me some fake crab meat and I'm straight. These guys put me on over at the sober spot, after one of these other meetings.
Bro, I don't know that we did. I think we eat crunchy rolls too with the regular
I didn't know anything about
Right,
sushi.
True.
Bro, I came in there looking like a ding dong. Like, I was like, all right, so where's the macaroni and cheese? And they're looking at me laughing. I was like, come on. They put me on game there.
So Zach,
Yes.
we briefly touched on the fact that you're going through some real stuff.
Life.
Yeah.
You got some health things. What's helped you through this time? What's helped you stay clean? What's helped you in your program with all this outside shit that's going on? Life came crashing down on you, and here you are, still doing it.
It's like my being spiritually fit, It's, 2018, I got cancer, and it's one of those things like where, you get prepared to weather the storm, and I put on my raincoat and close my eyes and breathe, and I open up, and this whole fucking fellowship had a raincoat on.
Right.
They were kicking people out of my hospital room.
I didn't know you had cancer, and I've known you since then. Like, I never knew.
Clean time.
Yeah, I don't need to talk about it all that much. If it comes up, if other people are going through similar things, I get at them directly.
Well, I know personally we have listeners that are dealing with things you went through with your health. And I'm not bringing it up, but you sharing about it does help some of our listeners, point blank.
The gastroenterologist, they did a biopsy. I have hyperdysplasia, right? So the GI guy doesn't think I have cancer. The surgeon does think I have cancer. Either way, where it's at's got to come out, right? So,
and that's current. That's what's going on now. Not
I
2018.
got the news today that my CT scan that nothing had spread, right? So
that's awesome.
Which is when it gets scary, because to be honest, when they told me I was clear in 2018, and everyone was like, "You beat it," and I'm like, for how long?
Right.
Because I've lost a lot of my family to cancer. Not even like that's realistic. That's a statement. That's not down in the dumps.
Did the
That's
doctor say you're
What do
in
you do
remission,
between
or at that in 18
Yeah.
it was remission,
You're
or
in remission?
Okay.
Removed half of my colon, and now the other half's got to go. And now things in my body are going to change because your colon processes a lot a lot of, my body's going to change, and I've got some plans to get healthier. Like, this will be my last 2 weeks of soda. I quit drinking Red Bull the first time because I had a problem with it. Now I'm going to drink soda, and I'm going to quit drinking soda, and I got to quit eating some things, and whether I like it or not,
Yeah.
But what do you do? So life is basically, because we remember the bad things more. It's from catastrophe. It's like the castle ramparts,
Yeah.
And the top is one catastrophe to the next, and you better make sure you're getting spiritually fit, and you better make sure that I better make sure I've made sure from then to now, like, I'm in a good spot, and last time they talked about, like, we got an 8-month-old daughter, right?
Yeah, it's a little beautiful girl.
Before I had the surgery, like, they talked about chemo and possibly freezing sperm, right? And here's 3 years later, we got a baby girl, dude, and I'm going
miracle
through it
child.
again, but I have, like, this horizon has changed. It's unexplainable, and dude's talking about serenity, like, it's I got a bunch of stuff. Who gives a damn?
Right.
You know what I mean? I do, for me, but I don't need to tell you guys how nice my house is. Because for me, it's my house, it's my home, right? I sit there and I'm like, I earn this, I put in the work to get the credit.
We're proving a point here. We can hit the table.
I pay the bills on this bad boy, you know what I mean?
Bam!
I got the Brita water filter in there. With the 28-ounce Mountain Dew next to it.
Oh, man.
But that when you sit in your house and you're like, I was able to do this. Like 6.5 years ago, I died. I was brought back to life. I didn't have a job. I didn't have money. I didn't have friends. My family didn't talk to me. I didn't have a ar. I was homeless, right? So I needed that water then. And now, like, I just went in a direction. Who the people you're going to put around you, right? You got people that are walking right alongside with you. There's a lot of people that come in the same time, right? And then you got people like Steve L., who just commented on there. You got people that are in places you want to go to. You need those people, right? Because if me and you are trying to go to school and me and you have never been to school, we're going to need to talk to someone who's been to school, whatever that may be, And what's the backside of that is then we need to turn around and show all the people who want to be where we're at how to get where we're at too.
Right.
It's a beautiful cycle of
It's that whole
recovery,
giving
man.
it
And
to
that's,
someone else.
without comparison. And then it's in my own time too. So that's one of the harder things for all of us, I think, is well, weren't we just talking about that the other night? Like, oh, but Derek's got that really nice sweatshirt, If I'll never have enough.
Right.
If I'm looking at what
Right.
you have, I'll never have enough.
Even for me, when I look at what I have, once I get it, if I go down that route, the material or the stuff, I always want
Right.
more. The
Stuff.
next, so it's stuff.
Zach
is just
put
stuff.
it well when he just said that. He's like, if I'm
Yeah, he
looking at,
did.
I mean, Zach said something that's going to make me think here and bring it up real quick is if we're spending our life looking at what others have, you're never going to be satisfied. Whether if it's something where you're envious or not envious, but like you said, that whole point, that's a great point.
Distracted.
Distracted. Hey, Derek,
Hey, what's going
what
on,
does
Tim?
serenity mean to you?
What does serenity mean?
That's a question that
was
came
that
in.
same
James,
Yeah.
questions are
Come
my
in.
things, Tim.
I'm going to answer this for Derek. No,
Yeah,
just
yeah, no.
We haven't heard his pretty voice for a minute or two.
Man, sometimes you
Answer it
just,
for Derek.
when something like this is going on, and I'm talking about like some guys sitting around talking about recovery, like sometimes it's good just to sit back and shut your mouth and listen. You know what I mean? Like I'm hearing some spiritual stuff.
Nice.
And like I just sometimes and not just because it's my sponsor, because let's be honest, I don't always listen to my sponsor.
What? Are you
Oh, that's just not what you do.
Is that a phenomenon unique to you?
But I'm always in communication with my sponsor.
Oh,
let's go.
Can you say that again?
Some more
I'm
confused.
always in communication
So
with
you
my
don't always listen to your sponsor, but you always communicate with them.
Yes, sir.
Always
Yes,
in
sir.
communication, yes.
Because that's what you guys told me to do.
Thank
There's
you.
some wisdom
Right?
in that shit right there.
Yeah, yeah. And Serenity, it's I don't know the Webster's definition of it, but like what it
Describe it to
means
you.
to me
Yeah.
is like an inner peace. And like you guys are talking about, like I'll never have enough if I compare myself to other people, but like what about the fact that I am enough?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the fact, like, having some gratitude for just me? Having some gratitude for the fact that, like, I am a beautiful person. Like, I don't care what anybody else says about me. I'm not going to let your opinion of me become my reality, you know? Once I start letting other people run my show, you know, like, I'm living in God's will today. You know what I mean? Not Derek's, not Zach's, not Tim's, not Taz, nobody's else's but God's will. And, like, God has created a beautiful human being here, and that is Derek. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with me.
Right.
I'm okay with me today because, like, I have that serenity. I have that inner peace. You know what I mean? And, like, I'm able to walk with integrity today because of the serenity, you know? And, like, I'm able to observe the surroundings, you know? I can stop and smell the roses today. I'm not always in a rush anymore, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Holy shit, that's huge, dude.
it's okay to be, you know, I'm okay with me today, you know what I'm saying? And it's truly by the grace of God in the fellowship that I am, you know? You guys have taught me this. I'm not making this stuff up. Like, you guys taught me this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just regurgitating stuff that I've heard that other people have shared with me. So, like, I got to give it away to keep it. Isn't that what they say? Right?
You're damn right.
I want to ask a follow-up question, but I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it. Usually Tim comes with the follow-up questions before I even have to ask him. Like, it's usually what he does. He's good at them. So, like, you found that, and, like, what was it like when the first time that you all of a sudden you just had
True
that inner
serenity?
peace? Yeah, like you had that inner peace. You accepted.
Do you recall the first time that
when
just
you
shined
noticed
through
it?
like this?
When you noticed it yourself, because it might have happened before you noticed it. 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of my spiritual people are like, "Dude, you've been doing this. It's happened," and I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're having a bad day now, but check that out."
Right.
When was the first time you noticed it? And
Man, you know, and I don't even know if I, like, truly noticed it, but, like, people started pointing it out to me, like you said, you know, like, and if people keep calling me a duck, I'm probably a duck, you know what I mean, or whatever the saying is, right?
There's a quack in there somewhere.
Right, yeah, I don't know, if it quacks like something, I don't know the saying, but, like.
Let's just let loose.
oh my god,
I was gonna bring up wordsmith in there somewhere, but it wasn't gonna fit. So
You know, like, but that I think in the sober house, you know what I mean, like, being around a bunch of guys, and, like, me when I got clean, like, you know, like, I didn't have nothing, and, like, I was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't matter. Like, I was getting food from the food shelf at church and stuff, you know, and, like, I didn't have $1 to buy a soda, but, like, I was okay, you know, and like, I let God's grace shine through me because, like, I was truly, like, finally at some peace with myself because I knew, like, the pain was over, right? Like, I quit. I didn't have to wake up and have to get high. Like, people talk about your drug of choice. Like, I'm talking about drug of no choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have a choice whether I was going to use or not. Like, it was just win, right? Like, I was going to get high today. And, like, I had to quit. Like, I woke up and I didn't have to feel that same pain that I had been feeling for so long. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the regret and the remorse and then just, like, the vicious cycle. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
hell,
God started doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. You know what I'm saying? And you guys too. Like, I can't extend my gratitude enough to, like, the people in the recovery community here, and it's just like, I can't put words on it. I just can't.
Right.
You're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good.
Well, you know what? I want to. I think that was great and great with the follow up. So now I'm going to throw a fastball to Zach on this one. Is in your both. I want to hear about both in your experiences. What does How do you achieve your serenity, and what was it like for one of the first times when it came about? I mean, that you really realized it.
Zach never answered the first question, though.
That's part of what I'm asking.
Okay.
So
what does serenity?
What does serenity mean to you? And what was just same thing we just
What
made
does
Derek
serenity
go
mean
through.
to you? And when the first time you noticed that you had serenity?
The I don't know if you call it serenity or a spiritual awakening. Like I was still living at a sober house, and I was smoking back then. I was packing cigarettes and walking out of the room, and I crinkled up the cellophane. Kobe shot 3 at the garbage can, right? And I missed the garbage can, and I went to walk out of the room, and I stopped, and I went, I live in this room. Like, I'm not going to put garbage on the floor of the room I live in. And I walked back there, and I picked it up and threw it away. And halfway back to the door, I started to cry, and I was like, I'm a different person. You know what I'm saying? You know where I came from, dude? Like, this is darkness for 20 years, you know what I mean? I just didn't allow a piece of trash to be on the floor in my room.
Like a lot clicked right at that moment.
Yeah,
for you?
and that's like the little things are always the biggest, because
Right.
the big things come and go. You're never even prepared for you only get big things, like the good big things that stay. The big things followed by a million little things.
events,
All these little
yeah.
steps of doing this right, staying on course, staying clean. You get that first year clean, and from 364 days clean. 306.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
And
yep,
then
yep.
that's a big, huge year or whatever. Not whatever, it is.
It's huge. Yeah.
If 5 people say you have a tail, you probably have a tail. Quack, quack.
Hey, thanks, Brian.
Man. Can we
Brian,
delete
big
him off
shout
of here? That's really messing with my serenity.
Diet Mountain Dew.
Serenity's internal,
Right, I was
it's
gonna
all
say,
yeah,
right.
it's all like serenity is it's automatic mode. If I get in these routines of everything I keep doing, and I constantly, continuously do these things, like when something bad happens, I'm already in this routine where I just do them. I don't have bad days. I have bad moments in my days.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And then
Damn.
you have all these waves happening, but your ship is built.
Yep.
Right.
The hurricane hits and your foundation is built,
Nice.
And then you know that, so you're aware of that. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that a lot of things could happen, but I've made all these moves so they can't. And then you have this just it's a glow. You get
right.
my glow up. You know what I mean? Does that work there? I don't know why I looked at Jerome, but Jerome's like,
Jerome's an authority on glow now.
it ain't gonna blow up. It's gonna glow up.
Hey.
And so all these, I'm in charge of doing what's right.
Oh, man.
Is right.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm in awe,
yeah,
dude. I
yeah.
mean, I'm over here in awe. Like that was so well put. Like just that.
I mean, and just the way you hold yourself, like, it's apparent that.
There's a reason I got these guys on the podcast, bro. I mean,
I was
told
pretty
you.
worried. I don't-
Yeah, Ted had
usually-
doubts at the end of last
Well,
week. We're
he
bringing up.
doesn't
He's
do
like,
scheduled.
I gave Tim the opening to bring guests on, and here
Have
we
you
go.
guys even really had a podcast, or is this the first one?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Like you're not a
Blew
fan.
it all. Blow up. Blew up.
Right, well,
Debut.
like-
Blow up. Scott.
Like you're not a fan and you don't have my 5x9 autograph.
I have been listening to him.
He did research.
Look at what you guys are doing.
Yeah, it's the point. We want people.
Look at what you guys
We'll get
are
into the
doing.
reason why you
Man.
guys are sitting in those chairs.
Oh,
But
man.
you know what?
This
How-
podcast is going to keep you guys clean at some point in your life, because you're going to be like,
You're GD right.
I have to do this.
You're damn right, dude.
Right, and
That's part of this
I've
recovery
set-
for me.
I set my life up with lots of things like that.
Yeah,
to
it's
where-
pulling another
and
piece of
that's
insurance
the way-
out
that's
on
the way it
recovery
is.
for
And
me.
when I had the idea for this podcast, I wasn't really sure, but it was, I want to help people and I want it to be fun. And,
Right.
And that's the primary focus. And like, I obviously have grander visions for the podcast at some point, but we're not getting ahead of ourselves. I'd like,
Do you like I make sense, right? Because we're all doing
yeah.
the same things, just they're tweaked just
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you
for
make
what
Just
works
different
for us,
avenues.
right?
There's
Oh,
different
yeah.
avenues
Yeah.
that we can all take to get to that same key point I see. And every step we take, as long as it's in that same general direction of, in my mind, it's called recovery and a happier, a newer, just a happy way to live. I mean, As long
It's a
as I'm
better way to
happy.
live. Like
Someone wrote something on here about smiling or humor. Like
There was a whole bunch of
That's been a
stuff
key
I missed.
focal point of my recovery, and I know it gets on people's nerves a lot of time because my humor is not sometimes at the best time of day. But I do want to. You know what? When you just shared about the Serenity, when you said about you picked that garbage up and you teared up after, was that for you in your mind? That was like it clicked in your head, and that's what you felt when you started tearing up, crying over what you just realized that was Serenity to you?
Or a spiritual awakening is probably
That moment,
Yeah.
that type of a
yeah.
moment,
It was one of the first like I recognized as it was happening. You
the
know?
growth, like just
Yeah.
that change.
Yeah, because like you said, most people, if you're just doing the right things and that's what you're focused on, you don't need to focus on. You just stay on this path, right? And then other
Right.
people are like, "Well, this is you now." So if
Yeah.
you do that for 30 days and you help people, people are going to be like, "That dude right there helps people," and you're just helping people. You don't know that everyone's noticing it, and you don't need to be noticed.
Just like
You know?
everyone in this room, there are people who never met us before. They don't know what we were like. They don't know.
Yeah,
right.
And this is us to them.
Yeah.
We're the guys with the podcast. We're the guys that
To some
you're the
people,
guy that
yeah.
helps people, and you're the guy that's just happy and does his thing no matter what life throws at. You're the guy with the corny jokes and
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take that.
No, I'll back that corny part up.
So my first year of recovery, right? Like I was so dialed in on just not picking up. You know what I'm saying? Like I was learning I was just learning not how to use, right?
Yeah.
Like, not how to pick up drugs, right? Not because that was my life before I got here, right? And like it got to a point where I was like, man, my life is just recovery. And like Zach touched on balance a little bit, and like I was getting kind of burnt out and just like meeting after meeting after meeting, right? And like I had to figure out something had to break, right? And I started working out again. You guys touched on that. Like I find myself in the gym more days than not, right? And
Okay.
it's so beautiful for my mental health. But where I'm trying to go is like where I'm trying to touch on here is like finding some hobbies in recovery.
Yeah.
Right? Like it took me a while, like it was just meetings and like just staying clean no matter what, you know what I'm saying? And like I got back in the gym and I was going there and working out and stuff. And then you come to the room and you meet some people that have some stuff in common with you, right? And like now I got a workout buddy and like we go to the gym quite a bit. And Brian S, man, here's a shout out to you, man. Him and Rob H, they pushed me in the gym.
Are you working out with our sponsor?
Yeah. And like, well, they work out with me now. You know what I mean?
They work out with you. Nice.
Like they push me to the point where like I'm crushing my goals, right? And like they get to see me succeed in the gym as well. But like that's one hobby, right? So like that's an hour of the day or an hour or two of the day if I decide to go, right? Which, like I said, I usually do. And now Andrew, fishing.
Fishing, yeah.
Something else, Brian S is really
Nicholas put the little
Thick
fishing.
Nick. It's my
that's
boy.
really like I went fishing a lot when I was a kid and I enjoyed myself, right? But I had never done it clean like as an adult, and so I just like I'm super grateful for Brian, man, because if he wouldn't have invited me to go to fishing opener last year, like I would have never got to see the spirituality of being out on that boat and watching that watching that sunrise, right?
Boy, yeah.
And like it gets better, right? Like because not only did he bring me and introduce me to that, but like now I'm a better fisherman than him too, right?
The humility on
I
Derek.
think your sponsor needs to talk to you about this whole ego
So,
thing.
I just had an epiphany, and you all get the reference because we're all old stoners here. So you guys have all gone fishing, right?
Right.
Yes.
You ever gone fishing clean?
Oh, half-baked. Here we go. You know what, though, is what I want to talk about real quick about what we're sharing about.
This ain't gonna be quick, bro.
It's
You
gonna.
know.
You watch. You guys will make it long. But what I'm saying is, okay, so
It's already
he's
medium.
talking about getting these hobbies back, doing things besides just not picking up. Okay,
Right.
like the normal world, like these people they call the normies or whatever. They go to work. They have their after work stuff. Like I guess I have to say me as an addict, I have to learn how to live again. Like that's the biggest part in these last 2 years. Is how to live again, not just recovery. Yes, that has to come first for me. But Derek's talking about living. Like living. Like he said, the first 365 or for a while it was just not to pick up. And now like family, like these things are not like people that are listening that don't understand this addiction thing, they're not following. There's a lot of people that don't understand what we're talking about learning how to live again. What has that been for you? Like 6 years ago, you came into these rooms. Did you have a ton of hobbies besides using?
No. I stole a lot. right? What the guy at the pawn shop said, man, he said, "You sure do got a lot of drills for sale."
How many?
That's a month's worth. Right?
Oh my
Did you see what I'm saying?
That was a joke. Yeah, all right. I'm sorry.
No,
Actually,
no,
yeah.
but that's fun.
I'm not
Dude,
sorry. I don't know why I said it.
Don't
right.
be apologetic.
It's all
I'm
good.
still new to the podcast, so I should be quiet.
Oh, you'll get the hang of it. You're a natural at everything else. So by the end of the show, you'll be the champ of the podcast. It'll be great. So I'm a big proponent of that, the hobby thing that Tim's talking about. And my thing is, and has been in recovery this time, is trying everything. I don't know if I like it.
Right.
Like, I don't know if I like to cross country ski or do a pogo stick race, but if I try it,
Right?
it might be
Yeah.
my new passion. It
Try
might,
whatever.
it might be the new thing. I might.
Pogo champion.
Yeah, I might not like it, you know?
Right.
Downhill
But
skiing.
some stuff, Tim's a great skier, by the way.
Thank you.
We're
you.
not so much on the snowboards, but great skier.
Yeah.
That's
Not
know,
the downhill thing I was talking about earlier.
I know.
we're yeah, and just so everyone knows, next, when is it, the 30th?
The tubing event?
No,
or
no. Well, yeah, next weekend we're going tubing at
Troll?
Buck Hill.
Buck Hill?
Buck Hill at 4:30. Make your reservations online.
What's going on the 30th?
You already said you were in.
Yeah, I'm sure. I got
Me, my sister,
my planner.
skis.
Oh yeah,
We're going skiing at
we're going
Afton.
Skiing at
Afton.
Afton. Yeah.
So everyone's invited. you know.
everyone.
You know, just have fun, be safe. And these are just like, hey, look, man, if you don't know us, and you're like, that sounds fun, but I don't know those guys.
Right.
Da-da-da."
Yeah. Again,
reach
Timothy,
out.
Timothy J. Warren on Facebook and
Tad Ackerman on Facebook. Just
Yeah.
reach out to us, and we'll meet you.
Have you ever went to a really good restaurant with like not the greatest company, so it's not a great experience, and then been to a dive with the best people?
Oh,
around?
yeah.
Like, so sometimes in recovery, like if Matt's saying, "Dude, I need some hobbies," and it's weird right now, but because of the times we're living in, it's weird
Yeah.
to try new stuff,
Right.
right?
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing, and it's like with fellowship, if you're already heading in the direction that you see other people at that you want to be at, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not even about what you're doing, it's who you're with.
Right.
Like, and smiling, like, you know, one of the weird things is having a conversation when you're clean. Keep doing that.
You're good.
And it doesn't have a shadow of active addiction.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You're
Once you
having a
get clean-
conversation and you're like,
conversation.
you're in it and
Yeah.
you're focused and you're like, you talk for 45 minutes and you hit all these deals. Like, this is what it's like a lot of the times when we're
Is this
all
what it's like to
together.
be human?
And we're
No.
happy and we're smiling.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we're just a part of the world we haven't
Yeah.
been a part of. And you're doing it around people that know where you're at.
right.
And that's where you came from. That's where I came from.
Right.
You're where I was at. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, everyone we know who's got a year clean or 30 years clean had a day clean. Had
Oh, yeah.
30 days
Right.
clean.
I
you
think
know?
I think one of the things too is keeping an open mind when you try these new things. Go into it having fun. I mean, I think I told this story before, but like, so I used to make fun of, and since they've both been on the show, I'm just gonna go ahead and name drop Keith and Leon. I used to make fun of them for taking pictures and selfies when I first got like, dude, make fun of them. And then you know what? I was like, Leon was like, dude, try it. You might think it's fun. And the next big recovery event, I was over there taking pictures, and I had a blast.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was never my thing, but I've had taken pictures before, but I
and-
never took them clean.
You know what,
And it was
Zach?
fun.
Zach, I didn't. You pinpointed something there, and I've never really I didn't realize it, but I was talking to Derek probably, I don't know, a month ago about the podcast. We're talking on the phone, and the conversation wasn't about the podcast right away. We're talking about what we feed our dogs, the way he trains a dog, and then we're talking about fishing and lures, and then we're talking about, I don't know, the weather, and then we're talking about this, and then I bring up the podcast. And what made me think of this is how you were saying, we were having a conversation, a clean conversation, like, and I never realized the conversation was just normal guys talking, and we're smiling, we're laughing on the phone, this and that, and that aspect was that conversation, but near the end of it, I was like, okay, and then we're having this podcast. I want you on it. I think it's gonna be great. It's a 2-hour show, and he's over there. He's like, dude, 2 hours, Tim? Like, really? I'm like, Derek, look at your phone. He looks at it. I was like, what does it say? He's like, well, yeah, we're talking at that point. What, hour and 15 minutes on the phone?
Yeah.
It's just that, and it was just time. We were just chopping it up. Good conversation. It's like that's what this turns into.
That
It's
was
like,
you that story was about?
Yeah.
I totally think differently of you now, bro. No, I'm just messing with you.
But that's what I mean, and that was just a
Everybody
total
thinks
conversation
that.
with another
Before.
addict. But
They're
we
like,
didn't
2
have to say
hours?
that. Yeah.
What the? And look we're at an hour and 25 minutes right now.
It just flows. I mean, it's this recovery thing, like you're saying, Zach. It's you're open to it. You go, like you say, you go to a shitty place with a group of good people. You have a fucking blast. Pardon my language. I'm trying to cut down on all that, but you have a blast. You can go to something nice. We go get some Wagyu with some junky people, and it's going to be a terrible time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've never pinpointed or looked at it the way you just said it. Like,
Can we talk about that for a second?
what, the Wagyu? It's the best steak ever.
No. So he hit on something with the people, and like what comes to me is when you find your people. It took me so I have friends. And I had friends, and I was here doing the service.
Let's do this.
I was doing service work, but I never found my people. Everyone else would go out, and I have really good friends, but I never found the group of my people, if that makes sense. So I could have these one-on-one interactions with my friends. Then this NA comes along. This group comes along, and my friends are here, and I meet Tim, and I meet my sponsor, and I meet these people, and now instead of staying behind and doing the service work with there, and I'm not getting invited to stuff like I was, I never found, I fit in, all of a sudden, they're staying behind with me, we're laughing, we're doing the same, and now we're out doing stuff, and I found my people.
Right.
And my life had changed.
Right.
Instantly.
When it's not staying behind, it's you're part of.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'd be like, well, I have to do this stuff, so I can't go out with you, and in the past, they go out and have fun.
Right.
And I wouldn't be able to catch up. And
Well, it's
then-
like a 2-hour car ride, and all of a sudden, we're home.
I know, and now my people are like, oh, well, we'll flip and help you, and then we'll go do this.
Right,
And
yeah.
then all of a sudden we're doing stuff together, and like so, what? Let's talk about finding your people because it didn't happen overnight for me.
Yeah.
Right. Becky, it'll be fine. You know what? We never even, you guys, I was up there. I was not up there. So I was really on top of them about topics. I want to at least give them a chance to bring up one of their topics that they.
Well, let's talk about people. That's what we're getting into. Finding their people. They wanted to.
Is that their top? Oh, they told you what their topics were. I didn't know.
No. We just all agreed that we were going to talk about it. So let them talk.
So
Look at that. Whoa.
So, and don't worry, Tim, because I got to touch on my topic, but
Not too worried.
man, for me, it was like I was surrounded with the people at the sober house from the beginning, right? And like I made a lot of connections in treatment and stuff, right? And a lot of those friendships have lasted. But like at the same time, I've the more I get out and the more meetings I go to and the more connections I make, I start to find that like I haven't I find the people that I have a lot more in common with, right? And like it kind of goes into like relationships, right? And like I find myself pouring more into the relationships of the people that are closest around me, right? And like giving myself more to them instead of a relationship that is almost draining on myself, right? Like it's taking away from me. It's taking away from my inner peace. Like I can still be friends with them and I can still give them a hug, and we can still talk and stuff, but I don't have to pour myself into a relationship that isn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people in my life today, right? And like, there's only so much of me. You know what I mean? And like, Tad, I heard you share on this before. Like, and you have talked, and we talk about like.
No, keep going.
Oh, sorry.
It's tying right into what you're talking about.
And like, the people that I have in my life today, and the people that are closest to me, are there because like the spiritual connection between us, you know what I mean? And like I get out of them as much as I put into them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not a selfish relationship. It's a two-way street, right? And like the love that I pour into somebody is received back, and usually more. You know what I'm saying? And
I think what's important to speak directly to Matt is like, so he asked, and that's why I was just pointing so you could read the question without me asking it, because you were talking about it. How do you connect with people when you go to meetings? Like I go, but never really connect, and we've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there, and that's kind of what I was touching on. But I think at first, especially if you're someone who's been in and out of the rooms, that when you come back and you're feeling this way, this is what I think. So I could be wrong. For me personally, is people are waiting to see. They're waiting. That's what I've been told by other people. We were waiting to see. My sister said it right here on the show. My family said it. My friends were like, we were waiting to see if you were serious.
I have a different approach to that, but
you welcome
everyone.
And I too welcome everybody, but there's certain people that like in certain things, I'm not going to, if you're just here and you're going in and out, I don't want you involved in certain things because I can't, because we have sobriety requirements, there's safety for some of the aspects, and there's stuff like that. There's other things involved with the stuff that I do.
Your responsibilities kind of sometimes tie your hands on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and so, but like, and investing a lot of time when you're busy, like, I want to know if you're
like
serious.
Derek said, like
Yeah.
I only have, so once you start getting this network, you only have so much of yourself that you can divvy out percentages over here.
But
when you get to be a superstar, it's like
but like the thing about that though is too is like I found I showed up and I kept coming back. You know what I mean? It wasn't initially. Right? Like, I came into the rooms, man, and I sat in the back and I didn't say anything. I sat back and I watched. You know what I mean? And I listened to people share. And like, I watched people because like I was checking to see if what you were saying was lining up with what you were doing and how you were living your life, right? And then eventually started going to some fellowships and stuff, right? Got invited because, I kind of muscled my way into a group of people. I wouldn't even say muscle, you know what I mean?
You just
not at that point.
I sure wouldn't.
Not at that point. I just found some courage, right? Like I got to practice the spiritual principle of courage, right? And like reached out to another addict and asked like,
me personally, I walked away from a whole fellowship because I didn't have the courage to do what Derek's talking about. In the first year, I walked away from a whole entire anonymous group because in the end, a year later, after I walked away, it was an issue I was having. And that was not their fault.
Right. And sometimes it's a simple, I used to think I know he don't mind, my sponsor, I used to think he was stuck up, him and another friend of his, because they never said hi to me. And you know what? Come to find out that Rob always looks that way. If you don't know him, he's got tattoos. He always looks angry. Guess what? Once I said hi to him and this other individual, they say hi to me all the time. We joke about it.
Yeah.
Right.
If they miss me, like one day I dressed up and they didn't recognize me. And I was like, just like old times, huh? Walked right by me. We joke about it now. But now we're really good friends. Part of that is putting yourself out there.
Right. I cut you off when I'm sorry about that, Derek.
And sometimes when you put yourself out there, sometimes it's not going to be reciprocated. And those people aren't for you. They don't deserve you.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't
Yeah.
deserve you then. Like, and that's just simple. And because not everyone's going to click with everyone. Not that it should be about clicks, but look, if those are the people and they're super clicky and they're super exclusive, you don't want to be with them anyways.
Nope.
So, I mean, just keep trying. Does you had some more?
Yeah. Like I was scared. You know what I mean? Like I can admit that today. I was scared to find connections with people. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of fear there because every relationship that I have had in the past, like it was usually like, what's in it for me and what can I get out of it? You know? So I thought that's how everybody was, right? But like, here's a group of people that when I came into the rooms, I didn't have nothing. And these people welcomed me with open arms, you know? So like, I was scared to ask some people, like, I was scared to ask Zach to be my sponsor.
Fear.
You know what I mean? I would let fear run my life for so long,
yeah.
right? But like the spiritual growth, right? I kept coming back and I seen what was working for other people. So I had to find some courage and some faith, right? And like go ask some people like, will you be my friend? You know, it wasn't like that, but like it was literally like small conversations, right? Small conversations with people, and they grew into larger conversations, and eventually it grew into a friendship.
Yeah.
Right? And
I
then,
mean, and I have heard people in meetings say exactly what you just said. Like, look, I need friends.
Right.
I'm alone. I've had people do that, and I mean, I don't see 2218 as like you got to stick your chest out. But obviously, I'm a homer because I'm here. But you know, at first, people didn't notice me either, Matt. I didn't become this, that, and didn't have 500 friends, and neither did my buddy Bobby, who works the front desk, and everyone. More people know him than they know me, and it wasn't like that at first. We showed up every day. We did service work. We did a lot. Like I was probably in a lot of meetings with Sid before he noticed me, and then, you know, we clicked, and like me and Sid are really tight and good friends. But I don't have to see Sid every day. I don't have to call him every day for that relationship to still be like that. And I mean, Sid, you can probably speak on that.
And yeah, it comes back to like when we were talking about earlier about having hobbies and trying new things. Because everybody's going to find somebody in these rooms who they have stuff in common with. But so many of us come into the rooms with nothing to have in common with people.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I came in with basically no personality left. And I had to build that back up. And I don't have stuff in common with everybody in the rooms besides what we're here for. But that's enough to share with them at that time. And then outside of meetings, I hang out with nerds like Tad. You know?
I'm a nerd. I was going to make some smart comment.
People in my home group, when we did our group inventory, they were talking about this meeting's kind of cliquey. And they were talking about us weird nerds who are into comic books and music.
Right, we're the
Like,
clicky
that's
people
not a
because we
clique.
like comic books.
Right.
Now, look, man, if you want to try comic books, come.
Well, that's
we're all
what-
inclusive. We planned. What was it? GalaxyCon. And
One of these Comic-Con
yeah,
deals.
GalaxyCon was the first one, but Sid and just a couple of us, none of us had ever been. Sid was like our guide because he had been to one before any cosplay.
I've never been. I was like, you know what? I'm sober now. I could afford to do cosplay.
Right. And we all went. Like 6 of us went, and a couple of the guys that went weren't nerds. Like
Well,
us.
like Sid said,
And
that's
it
why I
was
walked
fun.
away from that fellowship. I was over there screaming, they're so clicky. They're clicky, this, that, they.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what? It was me. That was me who walked away with these feelings, not them.
I don't want to just share one thing real quick. Like I was fortunate, right? I was fortunate because like I found a group of addicts who, and I'm just gonna say, like, practice the first tradition, right? Like our common welfare should come first, right? Like they knew that their personal recovery depend on the unity, right? And like they didn't care my creed or religion, lack of religion, like they didn't care how much money I had, you know, like they didn't care they didn't care about anything. They just knew that in order for them to keep their recovery, like they were going to have to give it away to this student.
Right.
You know, and they didn't know, they took a chance on me, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm so grateful for that. Like I'm so grateful that I was got connected with some people that are actually practicing the principles today. You know what I mean? And like walking and living a program, not just like showing up and sharing and then getting out quick before anybody can talk. You know, and like I'm just fortunate for that.
Right.
So
We have a lot of people that like, you know, I've been close to 5 or 6 people the whole time I've been around, the whole time I've been clean. And there's, you know, I've heard continuously throughout my clean time is those guys are so cliquey. And I've only heard about this from people who have never tried to be friends with me, who've never liked my shit on Facebook, who've never reached out to me, who've
Right.
never sat next to me at fellowship, who've never, you know, and so a lot of this stuff isn't, it's not my deal.
Right.
You
Right.
know, can you, if we're not on the same wavelength and we're not moving and we're not vibing together, like, then we're not going to move together.
Right.
The key is, can we do that with best of luck? Right? I don't have to, you know, I don't have to go talk to Derek the next day and go, we're not hanging out with this dude because so-and-so. It's like, oh yeah, I don't know. You know, you get rings of people. A friend told me this once. You have how many ever rings? You have rings of friends and associates and your inner circle and more people, and you do this, and I'm surface level here. Like, dude, all of us, most of us want recovery. All of us need it. The only people that have it are the ones that go out and get it.
Come on.
right.
Wow.
Right?
Come on.
So
Get
if
it.
Come on.
If
Boom.
you're going to come to a meeting, and Matt, like directly to you, my brother, that didn't sound sarcastic.
That sounded just fine. No,
It's fine.
it
It's
did.
fine.
Here's the deal, man. Come here and set up chairs and make coffee. And maybe there's a meeting and you don't like it. Don't go to that meeting then.
Exactly.
There's a
Right.
lot more. You know, there's some people I'm here for my recovery. That's what,
Every
like if I'm having a bad day, man, I might need that meeting more than the guy who's 3 days clean.
and Matt,
That's my whole soul.
Yeah,
I
right.
need it.
It happens.
I don't have any space, right? You know, what have I had to apologize for the last? Like I had to talk to a bunch of my guys and my people over the last year. Get married, buy a house, blow my knee out in March, have a baby in May,
yeah.
I just started walking again. Now I got this going on again.
man, you've just been hit.
I've had to figure, and it's one of the best years of my life. It doesn't matter.
I love that.
Right?
I love that about you.
Yeah. What am I gonna do? Make it worse? Don't make it worse. Try that for a mantra. This is, I got
Right. No,
I
that's-
got
it's
cancer,
true.
right? But I don't have cancer in a crack house right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Guess who paid their premium on their insurance
My
all
man.
year long? You know what I'm saying?
Amanda paid
You
that
know?
for you, didn't
Yeah,
she?
that's how we
Hey. A marriage is a team. So
block her right now, player. Right? So I went, and me and Jerome started to talk about grieving before, like every one of us are grieving the normalcy of what life used to be, and
right.
it took us all different times to figure that out.
Yeah.
So I blow my knee out. I'm in this dark place. I don't have room for anyone else but what I'm healing. I'm not doing a good job of communicating that, right?
Yeah.
Then we have a baby, right? Like,
now you're busy.
I have a baby, right? I already was busy, I thought. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You found out.
And now I'm really busy. You know,
Right.
you go from 4 nights a week out and H&I and meetings and stuff, and then that's done. Then I'm hurt. Then I have a baby. You're like, I go to work, I come home, take care of the baby, try to do my best, the best that I can, until she goes to sleep, right? I look at what you learned to do, dude. God rest my father, you know what I mean? But I ended up in the tough love and that shit, man. Can I say this? Because this is one thing I really wanted to talk about is no matter how I get treated, like I never have to be a dickhead about anything. I never, if I have something hard to say to you that I need to say, there's never a reason I have to be mean about it. There just isn't. We can disagree. We can't disrespect. We can, but watch your circle clear out. You know what I mean?
Right,
You want to be disrespectful, and you're going to find yourself surrounded by disrespectful.
Thanks for saying
You know what I
that.
mean? And
Thank you.
like Matt, we come to these meetings. I just bounce. That's what I do. You come to these meetings. You set up chairs. You make some coffee. You put them away.
ask what you
right?
can do.
If you're a man, like we show the women in these fellowships respect because they came here and they're sick and they're trying to heal too. So we're in this place. We let each other heal. Ladies, that goes for you guys too. I know that you're vastly outnumbered here, and I'm a man, so I'll
Right.
speak for men.
Yep.
I got taught how to treat women by the women in our fellowship. I got
Nice.
taught how to be a man, how to be a father, how to be a sponsee and a sponsor in this fellowship, right? And am I not obligated? I don't need to tell anyone else they're obligated. I'm absolutely obligated to pass that on until the day I die.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's on a surgery table in 2 weeks or it's in 40 years, like now I'm living.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well put.
Let's get out of here. We're out of here.
No, he said that's another mic drop. You know what? My mom
me
just
out.
texted me about that too, and that meeting. You know what? And Matt, this kind of goes hand in hand with it. Is when I told you about I went to a meeting forever, and sometimes you have to know when to walk away. If you're setting chairs up, if you're doing what you're doing and you're still not feeling it, there's so many meetings. There's so many other
Oh, shit.
options. Keep it pushing. You want this recovery bad enough, you keep it pushing, find what'll work. It's out there. I ran into the issues. I ran into them, and you know what? Zach said some of the most powerful shit I've heard, and I've never looked at it that way. You don't have to be a dick. You can tell someone a message. It might be a hard message. I might have to tell a friend, like, bro, you got to change up some things, or not tell them they have to, but suggest it, and you don't have to be rude about it. It could be a tough subject. We talk about real shit in here.
Yeah.
We talk about some life-changing, real situations. And there's a way about going at that. And like you said, this fellowship's taught me a lot of those things. I can be there for adults. Like, I always talk about, like, when we're driving around, like, yeah, a couple dumb kids drive. I'm a man. Like, I'm not a kid anymore. Like, I still talk that way. Like, that's something I need to still deal with. But like Zach's saying, you guys taught this fellowship. That's so I'll
Right.
pump it till the day I die, too.
Right.
Like, it's giving back parents their children. It's giving back brothers their siblings, friends their friends. Am I boring you there, bro?
No, it's stress.
Whoa. I'm joking.
Sorry, I
I'm
was in
joking.
the hospital earlier today, and I don't feel the
whoa,
best. My bad. My bad. I still showed up even after a little hospital.
I'm glad you're doing better.
Even when he wasn't showed love. during
yeah,
his-
yeah. Apparently,
that was a
Get
low
some
blow.
water.
Isn't that water? Or you got water for straight from the
Popping
Alps?
water. So, Derek,
What's happening, Timmy?
what's that topic you wanted to bring up?
Shit, I can't. Man,
You
I
got
thought-
your paper?
Well, we touched on like finding hobbies, right? Like that's been so important through this season in our life. You know what I mean? With everything, like you can't eat. Like for a while there, we couldn't even go out to eat when we wanted to. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. It was hard.
It was hard, right? So like this particular season, you know, like I've had to find some things that I could do, like with, you know, like you guys have been living through this with, you
Right.
know, and like being able to get out on the boat, like talk about social distancing, you know what I mean? Like in the middle of the lake and just like having some serenity in this time of this pandemic, you know, like it's just been like, that was like, I made a joke earlier about it, but like, I'm seriously so grateful for Brian asking me to get out there and go fishing. You know what I
Nice.
mean? And like, super grateful for that relationship and that friendship, you know, and that's gotten to grow through finding a hobby in another addict, right? Like the therapeutic value of one addict helping another. Like it doesn't have to be step work. It doesn't even have to be talking about recovery, right? It's just about finding a new way to live. You know, and another little topic, like when all this started going down, man, I had to unplug. You know what I mean? I didn't completely remove myself from social media, but like for the most part I have, right? And it was because there was so much political and back and forth banter about wear a mask, not wear a mask. Like I had to exit that stuff out. You know what I mean? I had to remove myself from a situation that was making me unspiritual. And the worst part about it was at my fingertips. You know what I'm saying? Like, and talk about just scrolling and getting madder and my face getting red, you know, and like, and reading the comments and I was like at my wit's end with the stuff, you know, and I was getting mad at people, you know what I'm talking about? And like, I didn't like it. I had no control over it, you know? So talk about some spiritual principles that had to be practiced. Like I had to really, this year was like practice the spiritual principle of acceptance.
Oh,
you know
nice.
what I mean?
This
like,
might be the year of acceptance.
Oh man.
Or we just came out of it.
You know, and
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
the last,
and like I'm talking about I was getting mad at people that I love.
Yeah.
For what they were posting or saying, you know, and like that's not okay with me. That's not who I am today, and that's not who I want to be. You know, they're allowed to have their opinion, right, Zach? Like
Yeah.
Zach's taught me, like people are allowed to have their opinion, and how you react is up to you. You know what I'm saying? And like,
I
so
like that.
so like when something's making me unspiritual, I have an option. I can sit and piss and moan and just like continue to be unspiritual and let it grow and get worse, or like I can just remove myself from that situation. Like I don't have to live in that mess today. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well,
Right.
I think the coolest thing is, and I guess just for me, like, you know, so these types of things where I didn't get, like what you were talking about, where I would live in that mess or I wouldn't, it went from a month or all the time, or I never let go of the resentments, maybe. I don't know, to all of a sudden it was a week, to all of a sudden it was an hour, to all of a sudden it was 10 minutes. And sometimes I don't even think about it till someone brings it up and I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah. Well, is it a big deal? Probably not.
Right.
And what Zach had said is like, I can choose to make those situations worse. And that's all my anger and shit usually does. And I mean, and I have a place for that. I have a place for that. Sometimes, a lot of times it's in Tim's van.
Right, a lot of things get dealt out when you're talking to
But,
another
like,
person, you know?
I mean, and that's the place for that. If I have some garbage that I need to do and I need to say some garbage stuff, I do it either with my sponsor, or I do it in Tim's van, and no one else has to hear that garbage.
Right.
And because you'll find that sometimes. I had friends where I would be processing this stuff, and they would like, yeah, you should punch him in the face, and yeah, you should leave, and like it wasn't helpful, so I quit going to them, and I started going to people, and there's a time too, like some because you know sometimes Tim, I love you, and he's like always answering a solution. I'm like, Tim, I'm just venting right now.
Sometimes that's what we need to do, and have someone there who's okay with
I
that,
have to
you
tell
know?
Tim that.
Sometimes you're right. You have to let me
Otherwise,
know, hey, Tim, I'm just venting.
Tim cares about me, and he's going to try and be like, Dad, well, I got a hammer here for you to fix that. I got to rent with Tim. We don't need to build a house right now. I just need to
So you
vent.
didn't want that bag of tools I gave you? Is that what you're? No, I'm joking.
No.
You know what? But what Derek was saying about that with the 86 and social media or whatever is, I never looked at it, and you had a sponsor who kind of helped you with that, and that's unparalleled. Having a sponsor,
I quit it for the first year.
yeah, and
when
you
I was in
have
recovery.
no control over. Like you have to accept you have no control. It's something you have no control over, and you're getting mad over it. Like I'm still today. I have to tell myself that today. I've had to tell myself. I repeat it sometimes, like over and over. Like I have no control over that. Why am I even getting upset about it? I'm giving it so much power by getting upset. And a good option is just 86 it.
Right.
86 to
Right.
static.
I know a lot of guys that have had to 86.
Yeah.
Well, not just guys, people. And so I didn't have a phone at first. I used the treatment phone. But then when I got my phone, I didn't get data.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be on social media and I wanted to limit myself. And then, you know, after like 6 months, I was in the, whatever it was, like 4 months, I was in the sober house. And they had internet. So I only used the internet at the sober house. And like I'd get into Wi-Fi and I allowed myself bus, and when I donated plasma, I allowed myself those exceptions. But I found different things, and then at a year I bought myself data. When I was sober, when I was clean, sober,
process.
I was like, because I couldn't handle it. Had I been, and some nights when I was on social media at home at the sober house, I didn't sleep.
Right. Well, like
clean
you
because
said,
I'm like,
it's at
"Wait,
your
look at
fingertips.
This person said this, and
It's
that."
right there.
And I wasn't mature enough yet to deal
Right.
with it.
And letting others control. Like I allowed others to control my emotions, right?
Right.
And I already struggle with emotions, like
I
most
remember-
of us do.
We have problems with emotions.
Oh my gosh. So what you guys have taught me is like I didn't let anything get in the way of me getting another one, right? So I can't let anything get in the way of me getting my recovery, right? And like when somebody or something is making me unspiritual, it's gotta go. It's out of my life because if it got in the way of me getting my dope, it was out of my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it didn't matter who it was or what it was out of my life. So I gotta remember, like, if it's getting in the way of my recovery, it's gotta go.
Gotta go.
And I always say this, I know
Amen.
I'm not sure if I took it from someone else, but I learned it from the guys here in recovery. Is things like that, they don't last in your life anymore when you
Right.
start living. And that's what I say. I said people don't last in my life if they're not doing the deal or at least attempting it.
Right.
And it's not because I'm like, get the F out of here, you.
Yeah.
It's because they see how I'm living, they see how my
Right.
people are living, and they're like, oh, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got to get into some end of the show stuff. I told
look
you.
at
Blue
that.
by, baby.
Yeah.
We
started-
we are running a little late
Yeah.
because we started a little late, just so everyone knows. How we do every show is we do a gratitude, and then we do some promo stuff, and so we're going to get into that, and then we do a buzzer beater, and then we say goodbye. So, Sydney,
Sydney.
you want to let us know what you're grateful for today?
What are you grateful
Man,
for?
I'm so grateful that we get to talk about all this kind of stuff.
Right?
Like, it's just not. I don't know. If everybody in the world could talk about all this stuff on a regular basis, like we get to, I don't know. They'd feel like we do. They'd be grateful like we are.
Right.
Jerome, do you want to?
Yeah, please. I got one. What are you grateful for today? This is Jerome.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Introduce yourself.
What up, baby?
I guess I'll be out next week.
Yes, we'll promo it.
Not
Yep.
next week.
Next week
Is
is
it
the
next week?
29th. Or
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not
We'll
next-
figure it out.
ne-
We'll
Well,
figure it out.
hey, anyway,
Right.
I am actually
Following
grateful.
week.
I have, I'm gonna have my year next week.
Woo!
It's crazy. Yeah, it's been a long road. I'm grateful to have my mind back. That was something that that took a while for me to actually understand. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you, Jerome,
Thank
for
you,
being here and
Jerome.
supporting us. Thank you, Jerome.
So
Hey, he's 2 weeks. You're right.
I'm still thinking.
Zach's still thinking, so we're gonna go with Zach.
All right.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm so grateful that I can't even choose a specific thing I'm grateful for. You
Isn't
know
that
what I
crazy
mean?
that you have so many options?
I'm grateful that that I'm gonna go home tonight and sleep next to my wife. And she's going to go to work, and I'm going to be able to wake up with my baby and take care of her and do the best job as I can as a pops, you know what I mean? Because I got clean.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to be clean.
You get to do
I'm
this
so
stuff.
grateful that
That's
I
awesome.
bought this. I bought in.
Bought in.
I bought
Drank
all the
the
way
Kool-Aid.
in. I drank the
Drink
Kool-Aid.
the Kool-Aid, bro. Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me here.
Yep. Awesome. Derek, what are you grateful for today?
Man, I'm not just saying this because he's in front of me, right? But I'm saying it as a whole, like sponsorship, right? And I called my grand sponsor, Zach's sponsor, earlier today, right? And like,
Which is also me.
No, Zach's lying.
I called him today, man, and I think I kind of surprised him, right? Because I was like, "Thank you," thank you, and I was like, we don't work together directly, but if it wasn't for you extending a hand to my sponsor, Zach, like he wouldn't have been able to show me the way, you know what I mean? Show me this new way of life, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's that trickle down effect, right? It's the ripple dropping
Nice.
a rock in the pond, right? And like, the way that this program really works. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so grateful for sponsorship, and like it's a two-way street, right? Like Zach sometimes it's a one-way with Zach, right? But sometimes I don't know who's sponsoring who either. You know what I'm saying?
That's how a good sponsor.
That's
how
fair.
it is.
That's pretty fair.
Our sponsor came on the show and said the same thing. Yeah, I've heard that from
Right.
a lot.
Dude's about to have
Thank you,
crying
Zach.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
My gratitude speaks. Right?
Tim, how about you? What are you grateful for?
Besides the family that I always talk about, having a mother and father that are there for me through thick and thin and love me, and I don't do wrong in their eyes. I love them. All right, so really, tonight,
I love you, Tim.
Whoa.
I got to make sure that they get their. I love these people. You got to understand this.
Tim's so awesome.
I am grateful. Oh boy, I don't want to cry through this. There's a reason you two are here tonight. I call it higher power, call it what you will. There's a reason that I made sure that you guys were on the schedule. I reached out to you a while ago. Zach's part, and it's gonna be long-winded. It's me, dude. There's a reason, like I hang on these guys. It's like from day one, the shares they said, just going out, seeing how you guys fellowship, just what you guys give to that newcomer. I say hi to everyone who walks in these rooms. I learned the hard way that sometimes that didn't happen to me. So I wanted to make sure, no matter who it is, they're still stinking or still half high, I don't give a shit. I want to be there to greet them. I want to give them that, hey, dude, nice smile. Keep it up. Like, keep coming back type shit. It's people like you two that I'm grateful that I know I have in my life that I can reach out. You know, we're not super duper tight. Like, we're not going out skiing together every Friday, but I love you guys, and I'm grateful that I get to do this. Like, have friends, have brothers. Goes for Tad. I mean, the people in this room's like, I'm grateful I get to acknowledge this shit.
Right.
In my active addiction, I didn't know what a friend was.
was.
I didn't. I was in high school. I had friends growing up. My whole adult life, man, I was lost. I was just lost. You know, whether it's addiction, the reason, whatever it was, I was lost. I got clean, got to see through the light, whatever, and I get to have people like you two in my life, get to have people in my life that I can respect. Like, respect. That's something I didn't know about. I'm grateful for friendship. I'm grateful for the fellowship. I'm grateful we get to spread a message like this. I love you guys. Tad,
Love you too.
no, Tad.
Love you too.
Tad, what are you grateful for?
Is that your
Love
mom?
You guys too.
My mom, I love you, Mom.
That's awesome.
My mommy
That-
checked
that's
in.
great.
Brian. Oh, we got so many. Sorry if we didn't give you guys shout outs tonight.
Matt, we look forward to seeing you around. Feel free to contact me or Tim. Do you guys mind giving your info out? Like just your Facebook?
No. Yeah.
Go ahead. Let them know who you are.
If they want to reach out or whatever.
On Facebook, Zachary Cooney. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think
So,
you 86.
I've
You just
kind
shared.
of already shared the fact that I'm not really.
So hit up Zach.
yeah,
and
if
he'll
you wanna
tell you
get
how
to
to get
the-
a
yes,
hold of him.
yes.
Right, we'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Or come to a meeting and meet these guys.
There you
You're
go.
on Messenger still. Though,
I am
aren't
on
you?
Messenger.
Yeah.
You can find me on Messenger
Yeah.
at Derek Svensson, SVEND.
And you know what? I just reached out to Matt, so accept that friend invite, Matt.
Nice.
I requested you as a
Sweet.
friend,
Good
so
job.
that's what we do. And Elena, you know what? Thank you. She's one of our biggest cheerleaders.
Oh, yeah,
Been
I
checking
love-
in all
love
night.
you,
We love you,
Elena.
Elena.
So
Tad, what are you
that's
grateful for?
That's what I'm grateful for. This stuff. That right there. These connections.
Networking?
The networking.
Yeah.
The what this podcast is doing and what it can do in the future. Every day. Today was the day. I almost called into the podcast today. I was like, I didn't go to work.
I'm glad you're here, dude.
I had to get a shot for this migraine. I don't normally have migraines, and like something was going on. And then from the minute I got up, it was boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, you know what?
Good things happened.
Yeah. And so I took the time to take care of myself. And I'm grateful that I know that. And what I did is I walked here in the crappy weather so I could make some phone calls and relax, because walking relaxed me, even in this weather.
Right.
That walk allowed me to relax.
Yeah.
I never got to my music like I normally do, but whatever.
You were on the phone the whole time?
Yeah,
For the most part?
I had to call that.
Yeah.
I was supposed to call you first, and it was one phone call, and then I had to call Rob.
talked.
And, yeah, it was crazy. And I'll add one one more thing. I'm also grateful that I'll be seeing Leon Quast around. I'll be seeing him around.
Oh,
I'm grateful for
he's
that.
talking shit.
Yeah, hey.
No, I'm talking truth.
Yeah.
Oh, truth.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you around.
Cream always rises to the top.
The cream,
Right, the cream always rises to the top. I know you see it, Leon.
rise to the top. Oh wait, okay.
Like
Tim,
when practice
Tim, you wanna
handing
cut-
that belt over, huh?
Right? Yeah.
So here at 2218, just these doors were kept open throughout the whole entire thing, and I'm forever grateful to them. And I just want to let anyone know out there listening, if you want, they've got links up left and right. You know how to find 2218. If you want to give, feel free to give. Present's more important. Katie, I love you. Another big cheerleader of the show.
Yeah, you had someone else talk about how much they love you
Samantha,
too.
my
Yeah.
niece. I got family. Everyone.
It
You know
was
what?
great.
We
The
love
support is
people.
great.
Yes.
So we want to thank our guests here, Derek and Zach,
Thank you guys. Big
very
time.
much. Thank you.
Once-
You're welcome. I'm
You're
super.
also
I'm totally grateful. Like what a great way to like
Your 3 years, dude?
celebrate that 3 years, right? Like
that was the first
Like,
on the
is it a
show.
coincidence that it landed on the date? You know what I mean? No.
I want to take credit
Like,
for it, but I don't get to.
It's
He will later.
you know what I mean?
Just kidding.
I'm just so grateful, man. Like my heart is just so full of gratitude today, and like, what a better way to express that gratitude than coming on a podcast
Right.
titled "Attitude of Gratitude."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Here, like, I've got a God in my life today. Coincidence? I think not.
Brady and Aaron are on our show next week.
Yeah.
Brady and Aaron, and yeah, I'll flip them into promote next show, then flip
And
to
then,
him.
okay, I'll
yeah, I got it under
watch
control,
my own
bud.
side of the street.
Brady and Aaron are on our show next week, and I think we're going to be talking about early recovery in the sober house because all three of us were roommates for 8 months
Oh, boy.
up in a big 4-man room, and we couldn't keep a fourth man. They were all scared of us.
And it's gonna be a laughing podcast.
And like, so
Love you, Steve.
Brady's one of my best friends, and Aaron and I do a lot of service work together as well. So like, I've gotten to grow, and I don't know, that shows. Brady's super nervous. So Tim, you want to just say some stuff to make Brady more nervous? Like,
Well, dude, I mean, we're gonna have at least next week. I've been getting chatter about 2,500 to 3,500 people will be tuning in just to hear you,
and
Brady.
it's not like our friendship is on the line or anything.
No.
so-
Ted said he will divorce you if you. No, I'm
Brady, it's gonna be. Can you guys just speak on that? Like, it's not bad on here, is it?
No.
No.
Were you guys nervous? I guess here's a better question. Prior to the show, what was it? Were you
you-
nervous? And then like, oh crap! I mean, what was this?
Zach wasn't nervous.
No. I had a big weight lifted today.
Yeah, with that
from
news.
some news I got,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
Tim, like I've known you, like we've met Tad, and I know you, and I know you're around, so I'm comfortable with you because you're doing service work, and that's the kind of stuff
Yeah.
that I like to think I'm trying to do or still doing. And Tim, we've been guys too. Like
Yeah.
we're probably closer than you think. You know what I mean? Because of our spirits.
Well,
Right.
even me,
You know?
I was nervous for today's show because I'm like, not because of the thing I joke with you about the book, because I was like, I don't know them.
Right.
And everyone in my circle's like, you do too know them.
Yeah.
I've sat and had conversations with you with him, and I've sat and like,
Right.
everyone's like, you know Derek, dude.
Right.
And they're like, dude, you're in a picture with Derek. Right next to
Everyone
him.
knows Derek. Everyone
like,
knows
oh.
Derek.
Were you nervous about this, Derek?
Was I nervous about it? No, like, you know, when you initially asked me, I was like, well, I'm going to talk to my sponsor about
Right.
that. You know what I mean? And like, that's what we do in recovery, though.
You want to
know?
do it too, Zach? Like, God damn it, Derek. I go to bed at 8 o'clock. Right?
So, but like with that being said, like I just came in here with no expectations, right? Like whatever was going to happen, happened. Like you kind of, you know, I listened to some of the podcasts from the past, and I wasn't worried about it. No.
Right.
So,
You know, in 2 weeks we're gonna have someone on the show who's
Jerome and-
it's gonna be a celebration day for him too.
yeah, Jerome and
Big day.
Damone are going to be on, right?
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Another
so
sponsor,
Matt,
sponsee.
Tim will be here every Saturday and Sunday
Every
At
Saturday and
6:30?
Sunday at 6:30. I'm here.
with that group. I'm up here on Tuesdays. I usually do the front desk, and sometimes I have to bounce into a meeting at 7. But so if you come up here at 6 on a Tuesday, like you can hang out with me and we can chat, and I can introduce you to people.
Yep.
Like I have no problem doing that.
Definitely.
So buzzer beater for the day.
What's the buzzer beater?
If you had to name a sports team after your recovery, what would it be?
Ooh. Let's start with Jerome. You're up to bat. Quick. Come on. What is it?
Come on.
You did gratitude. You're doing this. What's it called?
Jerome.
His
Jerome's
team's
got the
called
I don't know.
team.
Ready?
Sid, you're up to bat.
The Serenities. I don't know.
There it is.
All
the
right,
Serenity.
that's good.
Derek.
Oh man. I can't.
You can't take Jerome's team.
Yeah, that's already been
That's
taken.
Jerome's team.
He said,
His is I don't know. And the
man, I'm going to
Serenities.
miss this shot, huh? The hope shots.
Boom.
Yeah, boom.
The Minnesotas, all I do is win.
Okay.
No,
He took mine. Yeah, no.
Minnesota loud mouth. I'm very loud.
Minnesota loudmouth.
I
My
did
nickname's
take
the Mouth.
yours.
You totally did take mine. Damn.
I guess we're on the same team, amigo.
Yeah. Tad, what is yours?
Oh, I was pointing at you first. No, I'm just kidding. I would have to say the champs.
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
But you can just call us actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. My team was going to be into action. The into action team.
So you're the knockoff of
It
mine.
can still be.
The action. You know what?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, man, like, thank you, gentlemen. You know, like what you guys do here is like I'm having a hard time putting together the words, but I just want to say, like, thank you from the recovery community as a whole. Like, I'll go ahead and I'll speak for everybody, you know, like what you guys are doing here and like reaching members that aren't being able to leave their house right now. And like, I heard that there's a treatment facility or something, or a detox where they let the patients stay up and listen to this. Like, that's amazing. You know what I mean?
That's super cool.
And that's the only meeting they might be getting right now.
Right. They're only
for
taste
real,
of-
because
yeah.
like they're not allowing people to come in and do H&I right
Right.
now, or like come in and carry that message. You know, they got to be protective. So like, the fact that you guys are putting this on, and like 2218 as a whole, like, super grateful for this.
Thank you.
And we are grateful for 2218. That's why
Right.
their name is in the podcast, because they let us, they've helped us out, all that.
Zach, would you like to say goodbye to your fan base?
Yeah.
It's just you guys here. No, and I was just thinking that for the guys who are going to do this next week, it's like you just come sit. It's interactive. Tad and Tim handled business. There wasn't a lot of dead space. You guys threw it at. They're with people they know, right? So me and Derek,
They're two of my
being
best friends.
Yeah,
And we do this
Right,
without
right,
microphones all the
right.
time. So like,
it's just it filled my spirit, and I can tell that it did something to everyone else in this rooms too. Jerome's still here. Sydney got to pop in. It was just.
Yeah.
did you, as my manager, did you have anything you wanted to add to Leon Quast before we go out?
I was gonna tell him to practice handing that belt over to Chelsea over and over again for when he gets to hand it over to you.
I think that's the show
That's
mic
some
dropper.
Ted DiBiase stuff right there.
Ted DiBiase. Whoa.
Oh,
Early 90s called and they want their fighter back. Barber. The
all right.
BK.
Hey, I just want to say I love all of you, everyone that listening. Thank you so much. And that's it for us here at the show. This has been Tad.
Tim J.
Zach C.
And Derek S.
Sydney. Oh, I want
Yeah.
to change my answer to the meditators.
It's too late.
Jerome C.
And it's Jerome right here.
All right,
Perfect.
team. I don't know.
Team, I don't know.
The regurgitators. That's what we've all been doing anyway.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that's the home team.